There is a strange moment that happens after you finally walk away. Not before, not while you're arguing, not while you're explaining yourself for the 10th time. It happens after the door closes, after the messages stop, after you stop checking your phone, after you stop wondering what they're thinking, and sometimes that's when they finally notice you. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Daniel. For years, Daniel was the person everyone could count on. If a friend needed help, Daniel showed up. If someone was struggling, Daniel listened. If someone needed another chance, Daniel gave it. He wasn't perfect, but he was loyal. And there was one person in his life who had slowly become accustomed to that loyalty. Daniel was always there, so much so that his presence became invisible. When Daniel called, they didn't always answer. When Daniel needed support, there was always an excuse. But whenever they needed something, Daniel was suddenly important again, and Daniel kept telling himself the same story. Maybe they don't mean it. Maybe they're just going through a difficult time. Maybe if I communicate better, things will change. So he stayed. He explained. He forgave. He waited. And every time he thought about walking away, fear whispered, "What if you regret it?" Then, one ordinary evening, something happened. Nothing dramatic, no screaming, no huge argument, just one small moment that finally made everything clear. Daniel was sitting across from this person, explaining how exhausted he felt from constantly being the one who cared. He wasn't asking for perfection. He wasn't asking for endless attention. He was asking for something simple, reciprocity. And after listening for a few seconds, the other person shrugged. Then came the sentence Daniel would never forget. "You always come back anyway." Silence. Daniel didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He didn't try to prove his value. For the first time, he simply understood. They weren't afraid of losing him, because they had never believed he would actually leave. And that night, Daniel made a decision. He walked away, quietly. No announcement, no revenge, no dramatic goodbye. He simply stopped chasing what had stopped choosing him. And here's where the story gets interesting. For the first few days, nothing happened. Then a week passed. Still nothing. Daniel began rebuilding his life. He started waking up earlier. He returned to things he'd neglected. He spent time with people who genuinely cared about him. He started working on himself. And slowly, something changed. He wasn't waiting anymore. Then, one evening, his phone rang. It was them. And suddenly, the person who had once been comfortable with his absence wanted to know why he had disappeared. But Daniel didn't feel the excitement he expected. He didn't feel the need to rush back, because while they were finally noticing his absence, Daniel had finally noticed his own worth. And that is the real lesson. Walking away isn't about making someone miss you. It's about no longer abandoning yourself just to keep someone else comfortable. Think about how strange human nature can be. We often don't recognize the value of something while it's constantly available. You can have sunlight every morning and stop noticing it. You can hear the same song 100 times and forget how beautiful it once sounded. You can have someone consistently support you and eventually mistake their loyalty for an obligation. That's why sometimes your absence communicates what your presence couldn't. Not because absence is a manipulation, but because distance removes familiarity. And when familiarity disappears, people sometimes finally see what they were taking for granted. But here's the part most motivational videos won't tell you. Don't walk away just to trigger a reaction. Because if your entire plan is, "I'm going to disappear so they chase me," you're still emotionally attached to their response. You're still waiting. You're still checking. You're still giving them control. True detachment is different. You walk away because you have decided, "My peace is more valuable than this situation." That is Stoicism. The Stoics didn't teach us to become cold. They taught us to become disciplined about where we place our attention. Epictetus repeatedly emphasized the difference between what belongs to us and what doesn't. Your actions belong to you. Your choices belong to you. Your character belongs to you. But someone else's feelings, their decisions, their recognition of your worth, those are outside your control. And the moment you understand that, you become difficult to disturb. Here's the uncomfortable question. Why do we stay so long where we're not valued? Sometimes because we're afraid of being alone. Sometimes because we remember the good moments and hope they'll return. Sometimes because we've invested years into the relationship. And sometimes because leaving would force us to admit that we were waiting for someone to become a person they were never ready to be. That's painful. But truth is often painful before it becomes liberating. Imagine spending years knocking on a door. You keep knocking, you keep saying, "Please let me in. I know there's something good behind this door. I know if you just give me a chance." And then one day, you stop. You turn around. You walk down the street. And for the first time, you notice something. There was never only one door. There was an entire world waiting behind you. That's what happens when you stop obsessing over one person's approval. Your world gets bigger. But now comes the part I really want you to remember. Walking away doesn't mean you hate them. You don't need hatred to create distance. You don't need revenge to establish boundaries. You don't need to expose them. You don't need to tell everyone what happened, and you certainly don't need to destroy someone just because they disappointed you. Sometimes the strongest response is silence, followed by growth. Let them have their version of the story. You don't need to correct every misunderstanding. Let them believe what they want. Your character isn't built by controlling people's opinions. It's built by how you behave when nobody is watching. Marcus Aurelius understood something powerful. You cannot control what other people do, but you can control the person you become in response. And that's where your power begins. But wait, there's something even deeper. What if they come back? This is where many people make their biggest mistake. They receive one message, one apology, one emotional phone call, and suddenly, everything they promised themselves disappears. Why? Because they're not responding to change. They're responding to nostalgia. And nostalgia can be incredibly powerful. You remember the late-night conversations, the laughter, the good days, the moments when everything felt perfect. But one beautiful chapter doesn't erase an unhealthy pattern. So if someone comes back into your life, don't listen only to what they say. Watch what they consistently do, because words can create hope, but behavior reveals character. An apology can be sincere, but real change takes time. A promise can sound beautiful, but consistency is what gives a promise meaning. So don't punish them, don't automatically reject them. Just slow down, observe, and ask yourself, has the situation changed, or have I simply missed the person? That question alone can save you from repeating an old cycle. And here's another truth. Sometimes they will never realize your worth. Read that again. They may never apologize. They may never call. They may never understand what they lost. They may even move on as if you were never important. And if that happens, you still win, because your worth was never dependent on their realization. A person can fail to recognize gold. That doesn't turn gold into stone. Someone's inability to appreciate you doesn't reduce your value. It only reveals their perspective. So stop waiting for the person who hurt you to give you closure. Sometimes closure isn't a conversation. Sometimes closure is a decision. You decide, I'm not going back. You decide, I'm done explaining. You decide, I'm going to use what happened to become wiser. And then you move. Maybe you're watching this right now because someone has been taking you for granted. Maybe you've been the person who always reaches out first, always apologizes first, always forgives first, always tries to repair what you didn't break, and you're exhausted. If that's you, I want you to hear this clearly. You don't have to become cruel. You don't have to stop caring. You don't have to become emotionally unavailable. You simply need boundaries. There is a difference between kindness and self-neglect. There is a difference between patience and tolerating the same pattern forever. There is a difference between forgiveness and giving someone unlimited access to you. You can forgive someone and still walk away. You can love someone and still choose peace. You can wish someone well and still decide they no longer belong in your life. That isn't weakness. That's maturity. And one day, something unexpected may happen. You may wake up and realize you haven't thought about them all day. Then a week passes, then a month, and suddenly you understand you weren't missing them. You were missing the version of yourself you were before everything became complicated. The person who laughed freely, the person who had goals, the person who didn't question their worth every night. And slowly, you become that person again. But wiser, stronger, more selective, more peaceful. You stop asking, why didn't they choose me? And start asking, why was I willing to abandon myself for someone who didn't? That's a powerful question, because your life changes the moment you stop begging for a place at tables where your presence is tolerated instead of appreciated. Build your own table, build your own life, build your own peace. So if you're standing at the edge of a decision right now, don't make it from anger. Don't walk away to punish someone. Don't disappear because you want them to panic. Walk away because you finally understand your value. Walk away because your energy matters. Walk away because your time is limited. Walk away because peace is not something you should have to beg for. And if they realize your worth afterward, let that be their lesson. But don't make it your mission. Your mission is bigger. Your mission is to become the kind of person who no longer needs external validation to know who they are. Because the greatest transformation isn't when they finally say, I made a mistake. The greatest transformation is when you can hear those words and calmly say, I hope you've learned from it, but I've already learned from mine. So remember Daniel. He thought walking away meant losing someone, but in the end, he discovered he had been losing himself, and walking away gave him the opportunity to find himself again. Maybe that's what your next chapter is about too. Not revenge, not proving a point, not making someone regret their decision, just becoming so focused on your own life that their opinion no longer determines your emotional weather. Let them talk, let them wonder, let them remember. Let them realize. You keep walking, because sometimes the person who walks away isn't the person who lost. Sometimes the person who finally walks away is the person who finally understood their worth. And when you reach that point, you won't need them to chase you. You won't need them to apologize. You won't need them to regret losing you. Because you'll finally understand something that should have been obvious from the beginning. Your worth was never waiting for someone else to discover it. It was there the entire time. You just had to stop standing in places that made you forget it. So close the door, take a breath, lift your head and walk forward. Not because you want them to miss you, but because you refuse to miss yourself anymore. That is the moment you become free.